What type of questions should your real estate broker be helping you answer about a potential commercial real estate transaction? When I use the term broker in that question, I also mean real estate agent. The broker should be supervising your real estate agent. So if you're in a situation where you're going to buy a parcel, commercial real estate parcel, okay, when I say commercial, I mean anything that's not a single family home, okay, so industrial, ag, retail, office. You're going to buy a parcel like that, whether as an investment or for your own business. There are things that there are questions that your broker should be helping you answer about that parcel. So what kind of questions should they be helping you answer? They should be helping you answer any question that's necessary to ensure you make a good purchase decision based on your specific needs and on the specific real estate parcel being considered for purchase. Okay, so I want to read that one more time. Okay, so what question should your real estate broker be helping you answer? They should be helping you answer any question necessary to ensure that you make a good purchase decision based on your specific needs and on the specific real estate parcel being considered for purchase. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people are going to hear that, especially if they're in the real estate industry. They're going to hear that and think, "Wow, that's really broad." Landon's being too bold there. You can't expect a real estate broker or agent to answer any question that is needed. That the buyer has about a particular parcel. Okay, I know it sounds broad, but we're going to drill into my answer a little bit, and we're going to see two things. One, it's probably not as broad as you think. And two, it's probably, let me rephrase that. It's probably not as broad as it sounds, but it is broader than most people think. And what I think a lot of people misunderstand about real estate law, at least in California, is that brokers and agents, real estate brokers and agents, have a very strong fiduciary duty to their clients. What does that mean? That means they have an obligation to reasonably make reasonable efforts to research and answer questions, acting as the agent and the counselor for their buyer. And there's case law that supports that, okay? So part of what a good real estate broker is going to do is they're going to sit down and understand what the client, the buyer, is trying to accomplish. And then they're going to make sure that before they before they help the buyer acquire a parcel, that it's actually going to meet their needs. So let's drill into that answer a little bit, and we're going to break it down into a few elements. Okay, so the first element is your broker. So you'll notice that my answer says your broker should answer any question. Okay, so why do I say broker and not agent? Right? You're probably working with the real estate agent. There's a good chance you won't actually be working with the broker. Okay, but here's why I say broker, and this is important. Your broker has a legal duty to supervise the agents that work under their license, okay? So the broker has a duty to supervise the agents that are working under the license. What that means is on every transaction that happens in a brokerage, the broker should know something about every transaction. Okay, so he should know who the client is, what their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish. He or she should have talked to you, at least had a brief conversation with you. It is not okay for you to close a commercial real estate transaction and never have met or had a conversation with the broker that is supervising your real estate agent. That's not okay. And I'll give you an example of this, kind of a related example. So I'm a licensed land surveyor. Now I have several what we call land surveyors in training that work underneath me. Okay, and they are working to get their own surveyor's license. Okay, but I have a responsibility to supervise their work. Okay, so in my business, there isn't a single survey that's done in my company that I don't know about. I know the client. I know what we're trying to do. I know what the client's trying to do. I understand when it has to be done. I know that about every single survey that happens in my shop. Okay, so in fact, on boundary surveys, not only do I know about the survey, but I physically put my boots on the ground of each survey that we do a boundary for, because that's part of my obligation as the supervising licensed surveyor. So it's a similar arrangement with real estate agents and brokers. If you haven't talked to your broker at all, and you're about to buy a commercial real estate parcel, that broker's not doing their job, and you should demand at least a little bit of their time. I think they need to be providing that. That's part of their legal responsibilities. Okay, so here's the second element. You notice in my answer to that question we started with, I said your real estate broker should help you answer any question necessary. Okay, so you notice I didn't say they have to actually answer the question. I said they have to help you answer the question. Okay, so here's why that's an important distinction. So real estate brokers are not all-knowing. Okay, they're not civil engineers, land surveyors, appraisers, tax consultants, building inspectors, and land use planners. And they can't be all those things, and it's not reasonable to expect them to be all those things. Okay, but a good real estate broker should be able to connect you as the buyer with the experts that you need to answer your questions. If you've got a question about the condition of the building, they should be able to help you find a building inspector. If you've got a question about the easements on the property, they should be able to connect you with the title company and a land surveyor. If you've got questions about the zoning, they should be able to connect you with a private land planner. That is part of their job. That is part of the value that a good real estate broker brings to any transaction, is that network of related professionals. I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call from some landowner. They're trying to answer a survey or land title question or a zoning question, and they're just struggling to articulate what they need to find out. And I always ask them when they call me, I said, where's your broker? Where's your agent? Why aren't they having this conversation with me? Hey, I don't mind having the conversation with you, but your broker needs to be involved in this conversation. They're the expert. They're the one representing you in this transaction. That's why you hired them, right? So you can't expect your broker to immediately have the answer to any question you ask about a particular piece of real estate, but you should expect your broker to help you find the people that can answer those questions. That's part of their job. Okay, now here's the third element. If you go back to that answer I gave you in the beginning, the broker should answer any question about that real estate transaction that makes sure that you as a buyer are going to make a good purchase decision based on two things. And one of those two things is your specific needs. Okay, so let's drill down into that a little bit. What does that mean? Well, every buyer is unique, right? And every buyer's circumstances are unique. So your broker and agent need to understand your particular circumstances. So let me give you an example. A buyer looking to purchase a small retail shop with high pedestrian traffic and low sales tax, and they're going to pay all cash. That's very different from a buyer looking for a vacant parcel for a gas station near a freeway with room for truck parking and with a purchase that's going to be financed. Those are two completely different situations. Now, both of those buyers are looking for a retail parcel, a commercial real estate parcel that can be used for retail, right? But their needs are way different, way different, right? And so your broker and your agent should understand that. That means they need to ask questions to discover what your needs are. Not only do they need to discover what your needs are for a particular piece of property, but they should understand what is your tolerance for risk. You know, how much risk can you tolerate? And, you know, how willing are you to what I call swing a hammer? In other words, do you need you want to buy a property that is just, you can move in and you're ready to go to, you know, start business second day, you know, the day after you get the keys? Or, you know, are you willing to put in some work to get the property to where you need it to be? Now, to be fair to the broker, if you want to find a parcel that's, you know, ready for your business the second day, you're going to spend more money to do that, right? But the broker should understand if that's what you need, or if you're willing to, you know, if you're willing to put some work in after the transaction. Okay, the fourth element in that answer I gave is that your broker or agent should help you answer any question needed to ensure that you make a good purchase decision based on your specific needs. That's the first part. The second part is based on the specific real estate parcel being considered for purchase. Now, just like every buyer is unique, every piece of real estate is unique. Okay, so there are no two identical pieces of real estate. So the quality of the match between the buyer and the particular parcel needs to be evaluated. And there's never a perfect, I shouldn't say never, there's rarely a perfect match. right? So it's very hard to go out there and find a parcel that's exactly what you need at exactly the price you want, that's available exactly when you need it to be available. Okay, so there's always going to be some tinkering there, right? But part of what a good real estate broker does is they evaluate that match between the buyer and the parcel. And the broker also needs to make sure, based on their understanding of your needs, are there any hidden deal breakers with the particular parcel, right? And so they need to be asking those kinds of questions. And I'll give you an example. We go back to that example I used earlier about the client that's looking for a parcel near a freeway where they can build a gas station and they want truck parking. You know, if the zoning says you can't have truck parking, that's a deal breaker. It doesn't matter if you find a great parcel next to the freeway, you know, where you can build a gas station. If the client needs truck parking and the zoning says no truck parking, that's a major problem. So the broker or agent should understand what those deal breaking aspects of the property are, and they should be checking those to make sure that you're not going to buy a parcel with a deal breaker, right? And oftentimes the buyer doesn't know exactly what questions to ask to discover if there's a deal breaker like that. So the broker has to understand their needs, and then the broker has to help the buyer ask those questions to the seller and the seller's agent. Okay, so what does all this mean? Hire a good broker. You know, hire a good real estate broker that's going to understand your needs and that's going to help you answer important questions. That's part of their job. Don't let the broker push that off on you. You know, when you're working with experts, a building inspector or an appraiser or title company or a surveyor or civil engineer, and you're trying to answer your questions about the parcel, the broker and agent should be involved in those conversations. They're the experts. That's why you hired them, right? Make those folks earn their commission, right? They don't have to immediately have an answer to everything you're going to ask about a particular transaction or a particular parcel, but they should help you get the answers.